What is up, YouTube? It is the Ville Outdoors here. Today is March 10th of 2024. We are here at one of my local streams here in Chester County, Pennsylvania, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of micro fishing again. If you saw my last video, I fished a new creek I had never fished before. I found it on Google Maps, and we caught 3 different species of fish, and that was the creek, well, we didn't catch creek chub, that's a lie. We caught cutlips minnow, eastern blacknose dace, and tessellated darter. Today we are here at a different tributary of a different creek, and we are going to be targeting some of the hardest fish to find in Chester County, and that is the Allegheny Pearl Dace. Now, the pearl dace is a special species of minnow. They don't grow very big, maybe 4 inches max or so, but they're only native to a couple of states in the northeastern United States, Pennsylvania being one of them. There's also some in the neighboring states, like Maryland has some, West Virginia, New York has some, I think Vermont has some too. So there's a bunch of different states in the Northeast that have them, but the thing that makes them special is they require a very particular set of habitat. It has to be clean flowing water like this, and a mix of sand and gravel bottom, so they can spawn. And they also like woody structure like this stuff here. So all these things make this creek the perfect place to find Allegheny Pearl Dace, and this is not too far from where I found them last year, and I caught another one just downstream from here, or upstream from here, excuse me. But yeah, the spot I found Allegheny Pearl Dace last year, which I teased in my last video, is completely dried up now, so we need to get more rain to get that filled back up. But this spot should also have them somewhere. So I got the micro setup with me, which is just the upper half of a spinning setup tied on with 4-pound monofilament line. I don't know how well you can see that, but it runs from the eyelet here down about a foot or so. Then that's tied to a barrel swivel, and we have the owner half moon Tanago hook, which I showed you in my last video. So one thing I don't have is bait, so we're gonna flip some of these rocks over and see if we can find any like stream insects, and then we're gonna get to fishing. All right, so there we have a tiny piece of larvae on. I just flipped a rock and found that real quick, and now I'm gonna try and get one of these minnows on the hook. There's some fish right here, so I'm gonna stand super still, and most of these look like eastern blacknose dace already, so that's not what we're after. Yep, caught one pretty much right away, and that is exactly what that is, a little eastern blacknose dace. So might need to look for some different habitat, or just wait for the fish we're after to take the bait. There we go. Our little blacknose dace is going to go back in the water, and he's good to go. This one looks different. Might have what we were after already. Yep, that should be an Allegheny Pearl Dace right there. So let me take a good shot of this guy. Alright guys, here's our first Allegheny Pearl Dace of the year. This is not a creek chub. You can see that there is no spot at the base of the dorsal fin there. Absolutely beautiful fish. We're just going to let him go back in the water. Be very gentle with this guy. There he goes. Came from right next to that down tree there. Well, down branch, I should say. All right, now that all happened a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. I saw a bigger, well, slightly larger fish going after the little piece of caddis fly I have on there, and I assumed that was the fish we were targeting, and it in fact was. So I'm gonna drop another bait down there and see if I can get a bigger one. There's a fish. Oh, he dropped them. We still have our bait on there though. Oh. Now this was not my intention. I thought this was a larger pearl dace, but it is a little beautiful brown trout. I'm gonna take a careful picture of this guy and then we're gonna let him go. All right guys, here's our awkward little brown trout. He's gonna be good to go here in a second. Beautiful colors on this guy. There he goes. Got another fish here, and it is a very small Allegheny Pearl Dace, I believe. That's what it should be. There he is. Just a tiny guy. There we go. Another pearl dace. Now these guys aren't too colored up right now, but when they get spawning they are beautiful red color. At least the males are. Alright guys, time for our pearl dace to go back. Oh, it just disappeared on us. But you might be able to see the school of little minnows swimming around down there. I don't know if you can see that, but there are deer that just crossed the creek right in front of me. Pretty cool. Making their way through the woods. Alright guys, I believe we got ourselves another species for the day. This is just your standard creek chub, I think. I don't see any dorsal spot, no pearl spot on the gill flap. So I think this is just your creek chub. My first creek chub of the year though. Alright, creek chub is released. There he goes. Got a fish. Let's see. It's a pearl dace. Tiny one. There's a larger one in this hole in spawning colors that I was gonna try and get, but he's being very finicky. So we got this little guy instead. Alright, just let him flop back in the water. Let's see if I can get that bigger one. Just a creek chub. Maybe the bigger ones were creek chubs. Alright, there's some slightly larger minnows down beneath these trees. I don't know if I'll be able to reach down to them. The angles are definitely going to be stretched here. Got a fish. What is it? Oh, it's a creek chub. And he's gone. What do we got here? Oh, it's a better pearl dace. Let's go. Alright, let's flip around. That one's starting to show off a little bit of spawning colors. I'll take a shot of this guy and then we're gonna let him go. Alright guys, there's our pearl dace. You can start to see the pinkish reddish hue right below the lateral line, or beneath the lateral line. And we're gonna let this guy go. There he goes. Back to his hole. There's a bigger fish. Let's see. It's another pearl dace. Oh yeah. See the pink color on them? That's what we're looking for. Alright guys, we got one more fish for the day here, and it is yet another Allegheny Pearl Dace, which is the fish we came here to find. So, oh, looks like he just released himself, so we won't have a great quality release for that guy, but yeah, all in all, it was a rough morning of targeting wild brown trout. I fished for about 3 hours at a couple different locations, and I didn't catch a single wild brown trout. Now, my local stream has been notorious for being hard to catch wild trout on artificial other than flies, so I'm not surprised that it went the way it did. I wish we would have gotten one, but you know, it didn't work out that way. I explored some spots that were pretty cool, so that's a plus despite not catching any fish. And then I came here just to make something of today and set out to catch a fish that I failed to find my last time microfishing, and we definitely came through there. So yeah, all in all, not a bad day. Could have gone much worse. Yeah, another fish here, and it is another Allegheny Pearl Dace. All right, so we'll give a good release to this guy, and then we're gonna end the video. All right guys, one last look at our little Allegheny Pearl Dace. He's gonna go back in the water, but by this woody structure, there's just tons of these guys around. So maybe you'll take something from this video and go out and find the fish that are hard to find in the places that are sometimes difficult to get to. Sometimes they're in the places that other people overlook. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you learned something, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. And if you have interest in microfishing, I have plenty of videos on my channel about microfishing for different species of fish, gear to use, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell if you have an interest in doing what I'm doing today, just walking around the nature in these little streams and catching little cool fish. So once again, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the Ville Outdoors.